Hey there, welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
Hey everybody, I'm Quincy Carr.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
Well, guys, can you believe it's been over a year now since the pandemic started and things are slowly starting to open up. The vaccines are rolling out. Things are getting a little bit better. So I think that's some good news, but it got me thinking, what are you guys most looking forward to once things get back to normal?
Oof, I'll go first. I miss live events. I miss going to basketball games. This is me emceeing at UCLA once upon a time, if you can believe it. So I miss, going to UCLA basketball games. And then this is me and my brother. We went on my birthday trip last year, not this past birthday. And we went to Toronto and we saw the Raptors play. And that was, a trip we didn't get to take this year. We usually go see, a new NBA team and a new NBA city.
Wow.
We didn't get to do it. So I'm excited to get back to sporting events for sure.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Mine
is on the line of Danielle as far as entertainment, but I had a show that I've been running since 2010 called the Quality Comedy Series. And
yes,
just the fun that I had, the camaraderie with the comedians and with the audience. Like we used to have packed nights and people were just there to laugh. And I miss it. It's Virginia's only all clean adult night of live stand-up comedy. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I gotta come see it.
Out. Yeah. And speaking of people being together, how about this picture?
Oh my gosh. Cheryl, you're buried in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm actually in the front. I look very happy.
I see.
Yeah, so this was at a broadcast social. Those are all meteorologists in that picture. And it was at a conference, and this is what happens when you get a bunch of meteorologists together. We have a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. And then the other one, I miss travel. Everybody knows that travel without masks. This picture is in New York City, so looking forward to doing that again. But guys, as always, we have a great show lined up for you today.
That's right. We'll talk March Madness and how you can play your favorite golf courses from your couch.
Oh yeah, and we're headed to the San Diego Museum of Art.
All right. But first, we're going to explain how people are using flowers to help heal hearts. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up next.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, guys, this year has taken a toll on all of us, and I think we're just trying to find little ways that we can start to heal, right?
Yeah. I know, we're doing so much reflecting, businesses, time spent with family and friends, and more than 500,000 lives have been lost due to COVID-19. Our next guest wanted to find a way to provide sympathy and healing for those impacted by COVID and is doing it in a beautiful and unique way. So please welcome to the show from the Floral Heart Project, Kristina Libby. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Kristina.
Hi. So I love that you are doing this to honor people, and this is tough. So explain to us, what exactly is the Floral Heart Project and how did you come up with the idea?
So the Floral Heart Project started because I was sad. I wanted to do something to recognize the lives that we lost. And I really wanted to do something that wasn't political, but was more just about the sort of really intense grief that people were experiencing and going through. So I started it out just as something I wanted to do in Brooklyn, in my community. I went and made a floral heart garland, and a floral garland, they went in and laid it by the Brooklyn Bridge. And the project has just grown from there. So it was this one idea, and then the very first one that I laid, as I walked away, I turned and I saw a runner run by, stop, come back, and then kneel in front of the heart. And I thought, oh, that's what I wanted. I wanted people to have a place to stop, to sort of just have a moment for what was happening and then to go on with their lives. And so I just started making more and more of them. And eventually, over time, I actually reached out to 1-800-Flowers, who came on board. Has been a really huge part of bringing this project to life. And they have donated flowers and time and energy into really formalizing it as a project. And from there, it's continued to grow. We did a heart in Times Square and one in Balboa Park, and then we actually were able to bring the whole project national on a few times before, but really all collectively on March 1st, where we laid over almost 150 hearts across the U.S. with hundreds of volunteers. And this was really a coordinated effort to start to mark a national day of COVID memorial. Well, more than anything, it's experience for people to be able to do something, recognize what has happened, but also to do something that is beautiful, that is focused on the loss of the community, that is really focused on this idea of healing. I had someone reach out to me last week and say that the project was the first positive memory she had of losing her dad, and a chance to connect with others and really come together. And so this is what it is about. It is this idea that we can bring a visual symbol to a community that creates a safe space for mourning, for remembrance, but also a way to gather appropriately and socially distanced to just reflect on what's happened and to start to think about how we move forward. And so, and since that day, more and more hearts have been laid every day, and I'm working to just continue to grow this so that we can have sort of a beautiful way to remember the people that we have loved and lost.
You truly are an angel to do all
that. Yeah, and you were talking about connecting with so many people. How do you explain, Kristina, the hearts to people passing by, or do people just intuitively understand what's going on?
So I first did it anonymously because I was worried that it was illegal and I was going to get arrested for like littering in the streets or something like that. And people just sort of intuitively got that it was a memorial, right? I think, going back to 32,000 BC, we've had flower burial memorials. And so it's a really common sort of part of our society. But more so, it's such an act of love. Like, that's what it is for me. It is just way of taking all of this grief I have for everything we've lost and pouring that love that has no destination into our community. So for people, it becomes, people, I think, understand that intuitively. As it's grown, we sort of create a sign and we have a hashtag, and I often, hashtag in chalk in places where there isn't a sign so people can follow. And now when you follow the hashtag, you see all of these hearts in different places and all of these artists and COVID lost community members and forests just interpreting this in their own way. And that is the part of this that's so exciting is, I have a way that I do it that I think is beautiful, that is sort of like my method. And then it's something that anyone can interpret. So, there have been school children who've made floral hearts on paper plates. There have been, extremely established florists who have made 16-foot hearts in Wisconsin and in Portland. And so you could just sort of run the gamut of what it is. It's a symbol that anyone can use. And I like it. Yeah, I think we can kind of come to understand that, right? That it's sort of a new visual symbol for our loss.
And this is something that brings people together, which is what this country needs so much of right now. And honestly, it sounds like that's what your goal is, to help people heal, to bring people together, to connect them. And where can people go to learn more about what you're doing?
You can just go to thefloralheartproject.com or follow me on Instagram.
Bless you. Bless you. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and your information is right there for the folks to see. We certainly appreciate what you're doing for us there, Kristen.
Let's hope it catches on and more people do it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, Cheryl, on one hand, we have good people like Kristina, that's mending many hearts. And then there's March Madness, where many hearts are left broken. Wow. Up next, we're talking March Madness, Final Four possibilities, and bracket busters. So stay tuned.
Let's do it. welcome back to Main Street Living. If you are a sports fan or know someone who is, March Madness is likely causing some excitement.
Yeah, it's causing some madness, I would say, Cheryl. It seems like we've been gearing up for it for months because we missed last year, but the NCAA tournament is finally underway, and here to talk all things college basketball, we have our friend, recruiter and sports analyst, Adam Finkelstein. Adam, thanks so much for coming back on Main Street Living.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Hey, Ed.
So obviously this past year, everybody's had to make a lot of adjustments with COVID-19. They're able to pull the tournament off, though, and make it as safe as possible. What is it looking like? How is the format working?
Well, first and foremost, this tournament was going to happen no matter what. I mean, it was just a financial reality that it had to happen because of all the revenue that they missed out on last year. So the format is much different. Everybody is in Indianapolis as opposed to various regions throughout the country. So there's only one host location for the entire tournament this year, which is totally different than in years past. That's impacted seating, whereas before the committee used to keep in mind where teams were from and try and cut down on travel for the highest level seeds. Now it's just a true S curve in terms of the way the field was seeded. So if it looks like Gonzaga has the easiest path to a national championship, that's because that is the way it was designed. So those are the most notable changes. The other ones is that, everybody was tested before they got there. There were a couple players that were ruled out of the first round, but no teams, which I think is a really positive development.
Wow. Yeah, Adam, you're talking about teams and the whole COVID testing and all that. So, your job is recruiting. So how has COVID changed that process, man?
Well, my frequent flyer numbers and my hotel points are way down this year. So we're just hoping that those get grandfathered in. For me and for most evaluators, college coaches included, a lot of things have shifted from being able to do things in person to having to rely on video. So college coaches, the NCAA hasn't allowed them out since March. They haven't been able to evaluate in person for basically this entire recruiting cycle. For me, I'm not subject to the NCAA rules, so I've been able to get out, but it's really only been in my home region in the Northeast. So anything beyond that, I've had to rely on film like college coaches have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so I have a question taking us back to the tournament going on right now. How much do you think of an impact it's been to have no fans in the stands for these kids and also for them to be so isolated, right? Is that going to affect what we're seeing on the court as well?
I think that part is the part of this that we're not talking enough about, the mental health components for these kids and the sacrifices they've had to make, not just to get to the tournament, but to get through the season. I mean, this has been a hard year for people in all walks of life, and college campuses have been deemed these super spreader locations and they're high risk places. And so the sacrifices these kids have had to make to get them through the season and to give themselves a chance to play in the tournament, oftentimes literally going from their dorm room to the practice facility back and not interacting with people at any stage in between, it is really just a huge commitment. And I think it's one that's going to, have impacts on mental health. And so I think the way teams handle that often filters down to that team by team level. But, you can only hope that there's enough awareness around those issues that those kids are getting the attention they deserve in those areas, because they have shown, I mean, this is a year like anything else, but that is undoubtedly the part we're not talking enough about, the sacrifice these kids have had to make.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, what you guys are talking about, whether our viewers know or not, but you're hosting your Views Advanced to Indianapolis show with in-depth tournament analysis. So if viewers haven't caught that show before, what are they looking for, or what will they find when they watch the episodes?
Well, first and foremost, they'll find Danielle giving them the best bets from the sports book. That's number one.
We're just trying to make them a little bit of money.
Hey, if it's a loser, you're going to be hearing from me next week. Let me tell you.
I'm going to be hearing from a lot of people. Twitter is a scary place.
But no doubt. But what's fun is that we do it every week. So we keep you up to date, and it's basically like I'll make this in high school. I didn't like to read the whole book, but if you gave me the Cliff Notes, I was all about it. So if you miss games on the weekend or you're not sure what to do in your bracket, this is the Cliff Note version to get you up to speed as quick as you can and hit a variety of hot topics in the process.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
Adam, before we let you go, you brought up your bracket. I have to ask, who do you have going to your Final Four, or who do you have winning it all?
Well, you got to watch the show. I think it's hard to root against Gonzaga. They're so good offensively.
It seems like their year.
They can beat you in so many different ways. They are the trendy pick. So I'm probably only going to get even money in Vegas, but I went with Gonzaga.
You were not even going to get even money. You're going to have to lay a lot of money, probably. Yeah.
I'm going with the Texas Longhorns because I'm from Austin. So
let's go Shaka.
Yes, buddy. Well, certainly our viewers can be sure to tune into Advanced in Indianapolis right here on Your View for must-see analysis on the NCAA tournament. We thank you again, Adam, for being a part of the show. And watching a talented and smooth basketball player on the court is like watching art in motion, right? Right, Danielle?
Absolutely.
In fact, when we return, we're checking in on some young artists doing some work, and I promise you don't want to miss this one, so stay right there. Hey, welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle Cheryl, as I mentioned before the break, art has many forms and levels of appreciation, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. And art, I feel like, can be so good for the soul as well. And we all need that. This year has been a year of challenges and innovation for museums around the world. And the San Diego Museum of Art in beautiful Balboa Park has found a way to keep a 90-year-old tradition going and make it accessible in the age of COVID. That's pretty cool. Here to tell us about it and joining us now is Nicole Amaya. Welcome to Main Street Living. Good to see you.
Thank you.
So the San Diego Museum of Art features a wide variety of art, including art created by local students in the Young Art exhibition. Tell us more.
Yeah, I'd love to. So this year is Young Art 2021. It's our 46th installation of the Young Art exhibition. And Young Art is a program where we display kindergarten through student artwork in the museum. It's a juried exhibition. We have a panel of curators, artists, and educators that jury artwork on a website called artcall.org, and they select the work that is hung in the galleries. This year, the title of Young Art 2021 is My World, Our Planet, and the theme is the environment and sustainability.
Ooh, that's right up my alley. I'm actually a meteorologist, so I am all for that type of thing.
That's wonderful.
So wait, how did the children respond to the theme, or how did you guys land or decide on that theme this year?
So typically we choose themes centered around what artwork is on view in the museum. But we do announce the theme the spring prior to the exhibition so that educators can fit it into their curriculum. So we actually announced this theme in May, right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
But we chose the environment sustainability because we wanted to keep up with current themes, also take our teen council students' feelings about the environment and sustainability into consideration. We've had a lot of conversations with our teen students about the environment and sustainability. And I thought, as well as museum staff, that it would be really interesting to hear what a kindergarten student's views were on the environment, sustainability, all the way up to 12th grade students.
Oh, that is so cool. And I bet that comes across in so many different ways in artwork. And so how exactly do you select the artwork for the exhibition? It's got to be hard.
Yeah, it is. So what we do is we invite educators to submit 5 student works per educator to a website called artcall.org. And then we have a jury panel of artists, curators, and educators that go on and they rank the student work. And then we have to go in and put a percentage in to fit our gallery space. So we can fit about 100 artworks in our gallery. So we have to go in and kind of set those parameters, and then whatever the rankings are from the jury panel, it kind of sets it up to be about 100. So this year we have 102 works that were selected, and there were 224 submitted. So it's pretty incredible, especially during this challenging year. But I also heard a lot from educators that they were really excited about the theme, and the students really appreciated the theme this year, especially with virtual learning from home. They were able to find recycled materials in their homes and use those for their artwork. And then some of them even created 3D works and then recycled them after, and then wrote artist statements on how they recycled them properly.
Yeah, that's amazing. You got me excited. How can people see the Young Art exhibit? Is it in person or online?
Yes, so we're excited to announce that following San Diego moving into the red tier, we will be open to the public on Saturday, March 20th. And then we'll have early access on Friday, March 19th for our members. The Young Art exhibition opens next week on March 26th and will be on view till May 9th. And it's in Gallery 14 and 15, which is our free gallery space, which is connected to Panama 66, the restaurant right next to the museum. And we're excited to announce that we will have a 360 scan done of the gallery. So guests will be able to view it online as well.
Perfect.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. See, that's so good for people to be able to do, because if you're not in San Diego, ordinarily you couldn't see it. But now that it's online, you can really check that out. And you have a new exhibition too, which I hear involves maps, which I love.
Yes. So this year, the Young Art program has collaborated with SDG&E and Mindful Murals. And we have a program in conjunction with the exhibition called Young Art Outside the Frame. And Mindful Murals has 25 muralists that will be recreating 25 student artworks that were selected from the Young Art exhibition and displaying those on utility boxes around San Diego and Balboa Park. And we're currently finishing up a map that will be viewable online. So guests will be able to take a driving tour or ride their bikes or walk if they're really ambitious. Yeah, it's really exciting.
So Nicole, before we let you go real quick, where can people find more info about the San Diego Museum of Art and the Young Art exhibit?
They can find all of the information and more at sdmart.org.
Awesome. So all that info down below.
Yeah, we see the social media there too. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Can't wait to check it out.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Huge thanks to Nicole. Stick with us. Coming up, we are headed to Sedona. You do not want to miss these beautiful views.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, our resident travel bug on the show is Cheryl, even though Quincy and I love to travel as well, but not nearly as much as Miss Cheryl here.
Yeah.
I know, and I think I have a new place to check out. So spring is here, and many of us are so excited to get back out there and enjoy the beauty of the season. And this is a perfect time, guys, to explore Sedona, Arizona, where you can do some VORTEX yoga or hike through the famous Red Rocks. It's so magical there. Take a look.
Now through May is a great time to hike in Arizona, and one of my favorite places is Sedona. Come on, I'll show you. The scenery in Sedona is amazing, and with the VORTEX energy here, it just magnifies your yoga experience. Well, the first thing we need to know is when you're going to be in Sedona. We want to know your goals. You know, what do you want to just see beautiful landscapes? Do you want to experience the VORTEX energy in Sedona? Do you want to have like a more meditative, spiritual experience? Everything is tailored for each participant depending upon your goals. So I want to know your fitness level, your background with yoga, the kind of hike you want to experience, the type of yoga practice. So, you can do a more like a vigorous vinyasa and a more rigorous hike to get a cardio workout. You can also do, more of like just a mellow kind of Zen experience and, an easy hike and more meditative yogas. There's so much to do here. The hiking is endless. Outdoor yoga is a magnificent experience, but there's a lot else. There's shopping and art galleries and golfing. So yeah, I recommend a longer stay, but if you just have a day, we can definitely set up your perfect outing. It's very casual here in Sedona in general. And for your outing, you'll want to wear a pair of either hiking shoes or sneakers. Sneakers are fine. I definitely recommend a hat and sunglasses. Bring some water. For the yoga outings, we provide the mats, so you don't need to bring a mat. But yeah, probably a phone or a camera. Boynton is really popular. It's a famous feminine vortex here in Sedona. It's an easy hike. It's pretty flat. It's out and back. I think it's about 7 miles round trip if you go to the end of the trail, but you can just go out as far as you want and turn around. Can't get lost there really. West Fork is very, very beautiful. It's unique here in Sedona because it's a different kind of flora that doesn't tend to thrive in Arizona in general. I think because it's boxed in this canyon, you've got all kinds of trees growing, pine, willow, maple. It's just like this vegetation paradise. We work with people who've never even done yoga. Our instructor guides are very well versed at setting up a private practice and experience that will both challenge those that are more experienced and be accessible to newcomers as well. Well, I definitely recommend check out our website, suryasedonayoga.com. And you can also give us a call, 928-284-0300. We'd love to hear from you.
That is so cool. I need to go back there and try to feel this vortex energy. Have you guys ever felt that?
No.
I've not had the pleasure.
No.
Energy? I don't know her.
Cool.
I wish I knew energy.
You don't do energy? Is that what you said?
I have no energy right now.
No. Well,
maybe once I get back outdoors, maybe I need to go to Sedona.
Absolutely. Yes. And you can find out how to book your hiking and yoga getaway in Sedona at SuryaSedonaYoga.com. That's SURYA, SedonaYoga.com.
We gotta go, Cheryl.
That's right. Although I like to try yoga, I'm a city kid, which means I don't hike, but I am familiar with sitting on the couch playing some video games. So that's what I call par for the course, ladies. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Okay, if you are a golfer, winter can probably forever if you live in a cold climate, I would bet.
And in fact, if you're in New England, you're probably ready for the spring to settle in so you can actually get back out there on the golf course. But our next guest created a way that you can play your favorite golf courses, rain, shine, or snow, and from anywhere in the world. And get this, ladies, there's no greens fees. So I'd like to welcome to the show, Michael Hamilton. How you doing there, Michael?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, great. Thank you for being here. Now, you have a degree in landscape architecture and an MBA, but you've always loved drawing golf courses. So tell us why you decided to start recreating the most recognizable courses in Rhode Island. Yeah,
so I've been drawing golf courses since I was a kid, and it's just kind of a passion I've kind of kept through even my adult life and, kind of made it into a hobby. And as technology has gotten so much better over the years, we've kind of been lucky in the golf course design community to have access to a program like PGA Tour 2K21, give them a plug. Sold about 2 million copies worldwide, which is awesome. It's, obviously really done really well.
Nice.
And, back in December, once the golf season kind of ended up here in Rhode Island, decided to start throwing in some of the local golf courses. And after a few of them, it really got some good recognition, on social media and from a bunch of my friends, and just kind of kept deciding to go along with it. And it's just been really a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay. Speaking of fun, how does it work? Do you play it like a video game?
You do, yeah. So you play it exactly like a video game. Basically, what you do is once the course is in the game, you just go ahead and search for any of the courses that I've designed or anyone else has, and then you can actually go and play them. So it gives you a lot of flexibility too. It allows you to play them any time of the day, different times of the year, and it's a really cool tool.
Yeah, so Michael, the detail in the courses are absolutely amazing. Like, is it, it's like you're really there. Like, how are you able to incorporate such detail, number one, and number two, why is it important for you and the players?
Yeah, so I'd love to take all the credit, but there was a member of the society or the community rather, that could kind of basically created this program that allows you to take LiDAR, which is basically satellite imagery and some, I think it's called light detection ranging, which is actually being used now in autonomous cars and your iPhones and everything else to kind of measure distances.
Yeah.
And what it allows it to do is it actually maps out the topography of all the golf courses. So what makes them so accurate is what you're seeing is what you'd see in real life down to the centimeter from the land itself. And then just the ability to go in there and add, all of the things that make a golf course what it is, the trees, the bunkers and everything else. And once that's all in there, it really does start to look like it does in real life. So
I would imagine, yeah.
That's crazy. So, I mean, you mentioned that you've been drawing courses since you were little, but how many courses have you done with this? And how do you decide which ones you want to make virtual? You've lost count.
Yeah, I've lost count because I do also design some stuff from scratch.
Oh, wow.
But in terms of the real golf courses, I think I'm at 15 right now. I started this back in January. So I'm hoping my goal is to eventually get every Rhode Island course into the game. It'll take probably a couple of years, but it's something I enjoy to do. So it's really just great to get it out there to the community.
How do you decide which ones though that you want to make?
So it's funny, at first it was basically courses that I wanted to see and I wanted to play. And then as people got involved on Twitter and Instagram, I got so many requests, still haven't caught up to everything. Yeah. And then eventually I started doing polls, allowing people to kind of choose, okay, what's my next course going to be? And it's really interesting to see what people want to see. It's not always what you think people would want in the game. So that's really been fun to see.
Do you ever get any of the professional golf players that give you any feedback, and and what are the players enjoying the most about the virtual courses?
I haven't had a ton of feedback from professional golfers. I think they might be too busy to play video games, but it's it's I don't know. It's funny because you get different people who are looking for different types of golf courses, and obviously, where Rhode Island is full of a ton of private golf courses, so not everyone gets an opportunity to play.
Well, they're too expensive, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, is there a cost for your game, or how can people find them if they do want to play?
So yeah, the game itself, PGA Tour 2K21, is available across the computer, PlayStation, Xbox, anything you can think of.
Wow.
And it's out there. Usually it's less than $50. And it's a game that I know
cheaper than any golf course I've been to.
Definitely. And you have access to every golf course you can think of as long as someone's creating it out there.
That's pretty cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Huge thank you to Michael for joining us today. And stick with us because we're going to talk about more video games. In fact, how you can make a career out of it. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Hope you are enjoying today's show. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Danielle, Quincy, when I was a kid, I used to love playing video games. In fact, when I first beat Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 on Nintendo, I felt like I had won an Emmy. That's what you would have thought.
You should.
I was gonna ask what games Cheryl was playing, because I'm surprised to hear that you were a gamer, but that just goes to show like how popular it is, right? And it used to be you're wasting time or you're being lazy, but now you can make a successful career out of creating or playing video games. And the University of California at Irvine, UC Irvine, has a program to help you down that path. Check this out. It's really cool.
Esports is the competitive element that comes with video games. We all know video games are wildly popular. A small portion of people who love video games really want to compete and see who the best is. And they've really flourished in the last few years with just internet technology improving, games improving, and now there's this whole entertainment aspect that comes to esports. So people are playing competitively in a community environment and being entertained. Yeah, in 2015, we saw an opportunity to build something that would be really special and unique to UCI that built upon the strengths of our university. We had a really thriving gaming community that had just been ranked the #1 school for gamers by College Magazine. Our clubs were winning major tournaments. They were hosting wildly successful events. Our faculty were teaching and researching video game design.
So we were the first public university to create an official esports program or department, and one of the first programs just in North America overall.
Our esports program has 5 pillars. We compete with coaches and scholarships and great teams. We support academics and research, so we engage with our faculty and graduate students to advance what we know around humans and technology. Third pillar is around community, making the world a better place, improving behavior, pushing for diversity and inclusion. Fourth pillar is around entertainment, creating great content online, hosting live events. Our fifth pillar is around careers and helping people get where they want to go after their UCI career.
I think sometimes people underestimate just how many disciplines are involved in the esports industry. It's not all about playing, it's not all about game design, and the things that you see on the screen. Like, we have so many interns that are involved that are working on like digital content, streaming, journalism, managing teams. They're doing marketing, social media management. Pretty much any discipline you can think of, there's a way to do that within the esports industry.
I don't play like sports or anything, so video games is kind of like my way to be in a team environment and to be a competitive player. I think being on the team has really taught me or given me a lot of skills, just like personally. Time management is probably a big one. I don't think I would be this organized if I didn't have to balance being on the team and all my schoolwork.
We want to be a well-rounded program. We want to be valuable for our students. We want to still compete at the highest levels, but that isn't like the sole thing that we focus on. We want to focus on our students graduating and getting good jobs. We want them to have really valuable experiences as they are, going through their college life.
Well, I would say there's a huge opportunity when you validate somebody's passions. And we know that 90+% of young people are playing video games. So they're very important to our world right now. When we say you are not just welcome, you're not just allowed to exist, we're going to encourage it. We're going to put you in a structured environment. We're going to teach you how to play the game at the highest level. We're going to talk about balance and nutrition and sleep and team dynamics and mental health. And we're going to help you be the best player you can be.
Wow, ladies, something made me go get this controller right here after watching.
I still have mine too. Cool.
Okay, this package had to make you feel old then, Quincy.
Oh, very old. But, the best part, you can get more information about the University of California, Irvine eSports and Gaming program at eSports.uci.edu. A lot of letters, but we got more of Main Street Living coming up next. Look at this. AB.
Welcome back to Main Street Living as we wrap up another show, and I am already clicking my heels. I'm on my way to Sedona.
And I'm clicking my mouse. I'm ready to start gaming again.
Ooh, the
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
I got you.
Quincy, were you a good Nintendo player? Are you good?
No, I'm just I'm very horrible. Like I'm good against people who don't know the game, but I don't seem to advance and get better as I play. They do, so I lose all.
No, so I'll
Quincy,
play.
don't you wish though you had
I'll win.
like a portable gaming system you could take with you on the go? Don't you just wish you had that?
Like a Game Boy or something.
They used to have those. Those were a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, as far as being on the go, you can always catch us on the go on our Cox Contour app. Thanks for the alley-oop there, Danielle.
I like that one. And new episodes of Main Street Living, 9 p.m. local time on Mondays. Make sure you join us next week as we take another stroll down Main Street.